There's the start of a brand new year. And after the eventful political year that 2025 brought in, from the unprecedented postponement of the budget, twice, I might add, to the Democratic Alliance threatening to leave the government of national unity. How many times did that happen? Several times, of course. In July 6, that briefing by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi changed the discourse of the country completely at the halfway point. So, once we've done that, what does 2026 have in store for us? Let's take a look at the political year ahead. The acting director of the Center for Security, Peace and Conflict Resolution at Nelson Mandela University, as well as a political analyst, Dr Ntsikelelo Breakfast, joining us now. Doc, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it. Happy New Year to you. Are you looking forward to 2026?
Yes, I'm of course compliments of the season to you, and may everything go well with you. Yes, I am looking forward to this year.
And one imagines that it's going to be an interesting one. Is it really all just about those local government elections, though?
I think it's more than that. But of course, the local government elections will be under the spotlight because, in my view, local government is closer to the people and it is in the front line of service delivery. And normally at local government level, voter turnout, it tends to be low. So it's going to be interesting how things are going to play themselves out. But my prediction is that in urban centers, I don't think that we will have outright winners. I think we are going to have a lot of coalition formations there because one-party dominance is still the thing of the past. And the hegemony of the ANC, has been dealt with a blow in a big way. I don't think that it will bounce back. But of course, the upcoming conference of the DA also, we've seen senior leaders of the DA crossing swords in public. So I think that is also going to be under the spotlight in terms of the incumbent. Is he going to bounce back or is he going to be booted out? And of course, the findings of the Madlanga Commission, of course, there have been other preliminary findings, but as a public, we have not had access to them. So the final findings, I think, will be quite interesting, and whether government will operationalize those findings or not.
Yeah, and sometimes we often just move as a herd mentality. And we just round up and end up going to this one topic that everyone has been discussing, and that becomes the local government elections. But even within the parties themselves, sometimes there are dark horses, sometimes their parties within themselves have their own infighting. We've seen it happen so many times. And then you start looking at political movements like Africa Maibuye. Last year alone, you wouldn't have thought that the EFF would have capitulated in that manner, although you saw things happen the way they did in that election in 2024. If you look at this year heading into this, does that mean that the ANC needs to be more united than ever? But is that even possible for them?
I don't think so. I'm not trying to sound negative, but I don't think so. Remember, the majority of eligible voters at the moment are young people. And throughout the length and the breadth of the continent, I think young people are becoming impatient with older leaders who are letting them down, who are falling short of getting the job done. So I think the ANC has not yet moved with the times, right? Because some people within the ANC still think that, the romanticism of the past, the glorification of history, that is going to help them. Without scanning the terrain and understanding the new political dynamics now. Again, local government is important because there has been a slow pace of service delivery in many municipalities. And what we see now, quite interestingly, is the strong nexus between voter turnout and service delivery. So if the ANC would like to bounce back, even though I think that time is against them, they really need to make sure that they have a change of heart.
What about the Democratic Alliance? They've stood on one side, and it feels as though within the ANC, people have often said that they're actually angry that the ANC has gone on to partner with the Democratic Alliance in the government of national unity. How does the DA put its best foot forward and say, actually, we are the right people to be taken on this year, when you consider even the leadership battles that its own party has had? But a sense of stability has kind of reigned for them over the last year or so at least.
Yes, of course, because they have been framing this discourse that they take pride in the fact that where they govern, they're able to get the job done. But with these allegations now against their leader, I think people are beginning to be critical of that discourse. So the DA has two threats. The first threat comes on the outside. I mean, you have a Patriotic Alliance that has been giving them a good run of their money because they are contesting on a large scale, constituencies of colored people where they get the majority of votes, in my view. And Patriotic Alliance has been able to do well there. So that's the first threat. But the second threat is coming within the party, posing danger to the party. You have leaders now who don't function as a unified force because they've been very good, I must say that, in closing ranks. But now you see them, breaking ranks, crossing swords in public. And that is denting the image of the party. And that's why people are beginning to be critical of this discourse that the leaders of the DA don't engage in corruption and blah, blah, blah.
So what are we expecting here in local government elections? Is it basically Data Morero versus Herman Mashaba versus Helen Ziller? Is that what we're looking at?
No, I think it's more than that. Remember, local government is not only responsible for, fetching the garbage and so on.
Yeah.
There are also issues of economic development. That's why you have the IDP, which is the 5-year strategic plan, the integrated development plan, and the baby of that is the local economic development. So local government leaders, they have a responsibility to grow the economy, create jobs, and the model of development that has been used at local government level has been off the mark because it is the one that believes that if the local state takes a step back, the market forces are going to promote development for the majority. So it's going to be a political battleground for many political parties. So it's a very important election.
So who leads the big metros, do you think? I mean, I'm gonna put you out. I'm gonna put it out on a limb here and say, so for Johannesburg, where are you looking? For Cape Town, pretty much, what would you see there? Maybe even Ekurhuleni and even some other areas as well of notice, even in the Eastern Cape, for example. What are you seeing?
So in Cape Town, my prediction is that I think the DA might bounce back there. I don't think there's a threat. I mean, the ANC has not been doing well. Let's be honest. They have a task team now, so I don't think that the ANC poses a threat to the DA. So on that score, I think the DA might bounce back with the bank as well. But in Nelson Mandela Bay, Johannesburg, I don't think that there will be an outright winner, including eThekwini, because the political environment in those areas is fragmented. The other problem that poses a threat to those areas is the fact that there is still a missing link between conflict management mechanism and coalition formations. Because it doesn't mean that when leaders don't speak the same language, local government has to collapse. So that has been the problem. So I think they need to move up to speed and do what has been done at national government level. There needs to be an independent body. When there are a disagreement amongst leaders, there must be a conflict management mechanism to manage those differences. Because you can't expect a bureaucracy to promote development when the political environment is not stable.
We at least still have 3.5 years, though, of President Cyril Ramaphosa leading the country as president. If these local government elections go horribly for the ANC, does it increase the fragility of his leadership and him staying until 2029, you think?
Yes, it does. Look, he still has a political battle to wage, because there are people who are pushing back against his leadership, because the ANC did not do well under him. Unfortunately, it has dropped from, I think, 57% to 40% on the dot, and people are demanding accountability, and you cannot blame them. Why did the ANC at national government level collapse the PEC of Gauteng and KZN, but then at the same time HQ does not render accountability to the rank and file of the ANC in terms of what has happened. So there are people who are discontent also about the fact that they are no longer ministers. The elephant in the room is to whether the SACP is going to stick to its guns or not, because that is going to hurt the ANC in a big way.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask about that, because that's an unprecedented move. It's a major move that has been spoken about for at least 20 years or so, and they keep saying it. But if they do stick to their guns on this occasion, does that officially mean that the coalition is over, do you think?
Yes. To me, it means that the Tripartite Alliance is over. Why do I say that? Because what brings the three organizations, the ANC is the leader of the Tripartite Alliance, then you have the Communist Party, which is the vanguard, which stands for socialism, then you have COSATU, which is the school of the working. Now, the interesting thing is that the ANC tends to get the majority of votes from the working class, and that is the same working class that the SACP wants to contest. So, that is going to split the votes. And the biggest loser, unfortunately, is going to be the ANC. And interestingly, of late at the NGC, the ANC took a decision that members of the Communist Party are no longer going to sit in strategic meetings of the ANC where they debate about plans to campaign and so on. So it's going to be interesting. And it looks like those people of the Communist Party have reached a point of no return.
This might be the most pivotal and most critical movements within the Tripartite Alliance, maybe even since it was formed, as well. So it's going to be very important. So you don't think President Cyril Ramaphosa lasts until the end of this year?
Your guess is as good as mine. That is everyone's guess. But that is not obvious. That is going to hold all power until the year is over. I leave that to the Lord.
Let us do so. We leave that to the Lord in our year 2026. Political analyst Dr Ntsikelelo Breakfast, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your insights on what could be a very turbulent year. It's the local government elections, yes, but man,